Guys, hi there, guys. What's going on? What's going on, guys? In fact, I was supposed to turn up my gain slightly from last time. How are things? How is everybody? How does my audio sound? Do I sound proper? Correct? Yeah? Hi, everybody. What's good, everyone? Yeah. Yep. Louder. I sound louder, or I need to be louder. Sick. Hi, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Sound louder. Good. That's good. That's excellent, actually. Yeah, right, guys. What a chapter, by the way. Pretty fucking crazy, eh? Kind of depressing. Kind of a bummer of a chapter, honestly. Kind of a bit of a bummer of a chapter. But, like, really good. Like, at least stuff's happening here, right? This is, like, the high-stakes action kind of stuff that we're looking for. Generally speaking, guys, you know, like, naturally, there's an element of trying to feel around for what's good, what works. Thank you, Fairy. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I appreciate the donations. Everybody and anybody who's donating to the channel, thank you. In this case, Fairy, even if it is to achieve his ultimate destiny of the Momo icon in the Discord. By the way, guys, Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member to get access to the Discord. Yes. So, guys, right. On YouTube, there is an element of trying to kind of figure out what works with the system in order to maximize growth for the channel. I think at times maybe it's easy to kind of oversteer in the direction of clickbait. I saw a few people in the chat before. You know, I'd love to dismiss it, but you know, it's 3 people all kind of complaining about the degree to which spoilers may be in the thumbnails. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I can't. Fair enough. When it comes to big information, big moments, I'll probably just minimize that to the best of my ability going forward. Oh my god, Eric. Jeez, dude. That's oh my god. Oh my god. I can't take that. Oh my lord, dude. That's a lot of money, my guy. Thank you for the donation. If you're certain, man. If you're certain. That's crazy, bro. Oh my lord. That is incredibly generous, Eric. You know, again, everybody's, I don't know how to respond to that, my dude. I don't know how to respond to that. Message me. I love you too, brother. Message me on Discord. Message me on Discord, Eric, and we'll sort out something, membership-wise, all right? Just even to ease... Just to ease my soul, all right? We'll figure out like some kind of gifted membership for a while on Patreon. You know, you deserve to be on Mount Olympus for a while for that. I can't just not provide something in return to that. But thank you. Donations are what make the world go round here, guys. Donations are what make the I know, I'm a bit bewildered. Sev, I'm a bit bewildered, but I appreciate it though. Genuinely, I appreciate it so much, guys. Like, it makes it all like, look, you know, it's one of those things that it's the social proof necessary to remind me that I'm doing this for the right reason. I saw that, by the way. Cool, blimey. Oh, there it is. Yeah, do you like my tiny cup? Tiny espresso cup. See? But, yes, right, so... Point is, going forward, I will try to... I can't promise I'll hit it every time, guys, but I will try to, I'm going to try to to minimize big spoilers in the thumbnails. I appreciate the position of the people who messaged earlier, who dropped their displeased expressions into the chat. I appreciate where they're coming from. I'll try to minimize it. All right. Let's never say that I'm not open to feedback, guys. Let's never say I'm not open to feedback. Okay? All right? I'll see what I can do going forward, all right? It's a shame that they aren't going to be able to hear it, but whatever. Anyway, point is that this is a pretty baller chapter, guys. A lot of stuff happens, and it's pretty goddamn intense. You know, it's crazy to see. Thank you, support. I mean, like, my immediate reaction was to be annoyed, but in fairness, they are not incorrect. I'll see what I can do going forward to minimize the degree to which spoilers may be in the thumbnail. I understand. Anyway, I'm not changing it now because I can't be bothered. All right? For now, it's too late, but next time. Anyway, so this chapter is pretty much it's a banger, right? It's crazy. It's kind of hard to read a little bit. And in all fairness, right, it's quite short. It feels especially short because it's literally just Psycho getting her fucking ass handed to her for the whole chapter. It's just her getting her ass beat. It's crazy. And it's actually quite brutal as well. She goes through some legitimate punishment throughout this chapter. And as has already been pointed out, that's okay, Eric. Thank you for the donation, dude. Anyway, I genuinely appreciate it. I don't know how to respond to it. That's where I'm at. I don't know how to respond to it, but I appreciate you, my dude. And you fill a very important role in the Discord. By the way, anybody who's not on the Discord, guys, Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member to access our Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. It's just pretty crazy over there. It's great. Everybody's really kind. If you care about Dandadan and you want a place to talk about Dandadan each week, and lots of other stuff as well, or even just keep up with the channel, that's the place to be. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member. Access to the Discord. Yeah, she put up a pretty good fight, all things considered. Like, there's no denying it. And this is, as somebody already pointed out, this is after she's already had her ass handed to her earlier that day against the Iron Bull, right? Yeah. I mean, we'll go through the whole chapter like bit by bit, and I'm going to try my best to kind of discuss things on tangents here. But like I said, the majority of the chapter is just her getting her ass handed to her. It's pretty ruthless. So we obviously end from where we start where we ended last time, which is this guy who looks a bit like CSG. He bows, right? And I think that Psycho knows full well about the yielding thing. She just refuses to yield, right? I mean, part of the reason that they were going after people's friends and the people that like Momo and stuff care about is because you can't just beat someone up and expect them to yield and give away their powers. Yeah, she knows about that stuff. That's why attacking it. You know what it's like? It's like when I time out support in the Discord in order to make other people behave. Right? It's far easier to go after somebody that this person cares about than to go after the person themselves, right? This here is a demonstration of that. You can beat her within an inch of her life. You could kill her. And she is very unlikely to surrender her powers, because if she does that, you're effectively handing over your powers to somebody who is going to use them to hurt people you care about, right? They're the bad guys. They're the bad guys. You don't surrender to the bad guys, right? Yeah, her and Momo are very similar in the same kind of regards, for sure. Yeah, it's a clever way of doing it, but yeah. So he shows up and he's doing his whole bow thing from the end of the last one, and he kind of goes straight into action mode, in fairness, so it's not really an honorable bow. I don't understand what the bow is about at all, to be honest, right? Because there's clearly no honor involved here. I'm not the bad guy. I'm a silly guy. I'm not the bad guy. I'm a silly guy. There's a huge difference. So, you know. Anyway, so he attacks her pretty much outright, and yeah, he's fast, and he very quickly slams her straight into a pillar, and takes a pretty huge chunk out of it as well. So that should be an indication to how hard he punched her, right? Like she's able to knock into wood, and it just splits apart. Bearing in mind, she's already had her ass kicked earlier. She's got broken ribs and stuff, to my understanding, from earlier. Right? Maybe. I mean, I suppose we're going to learn more about this guy as we go. But the exact nature of half of these people is unknown, right? Like, I feel like this arc is so is such a kind of like departure from the previous one, right? USA. Yeah, I already went over the clickbaiting thing. In the future, I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit more capped. All right, I'll try my best. Okay. Beyond that, tough titties, you know. Yeah, clickbait apology tour. I'll drop the Logan Paul apology gif into the general chat. All right. Okay. If you want that, that's where it'll be. That's in the Discord, guys. If you want to see that, thanks, Usa. If you want to see that apology gif, join the Discord. My Patreon link is in the description. Join as a free member, and that will get you access to my Discord, which is where you'll find the best conversations about Dandadan on the internet, which is pretty awesome to know that is where it is, right? Usually you have to kind of like, you're constantly going through all different communities, weighing them up against each other. You don't need to do that with us, because it is, I've been told definitively it's the best one. So go figure. Anyway, yeah, but no, I think that this fight may have put Saiko out of commission for the rest of the arc, right? And she does seem to be the most knowledgeable about this stuff. I mean, this is the downside to everybody being split up, right? Like, wait until they're all back together and reconvened again. They'll clear house, just like in the Space Globalist arc. You know? I know, she needs to get to a hospital. Even Ida's out, right? Ida's out for the count, which is another heavy hitter. Another heavy hitter. Well, I mean, you say that, Caswell, right? But I feel like, all things considered, she puts up a pretty good fight here, right? I feel like she puts up a pretty decent fight against this guy, despite the fact she's clearly severely injured, right? Like, he slams her against the banister, and she quickly, like, immediately gets straight back up. Again, already damaged. And this guy, he's a tough guy. Like, when he's kicking around and stuff, he's able to just kick straight through wood, right? And she responds to that. It's funny, really, because I feel like the extent of support. Yeah, I was literally about to say, right? The extent of Saiko's powers, I feel, are a bit murky, isn't it? Like, it's hard to say exactly what the extent of her abilities are, because she's clearly much more powerful in her location, in her own vicinity, where her powers actually are. So here, she's kind of just like a person, right? Like, just a normal person, just fighting, right? Yeah, I know, but the idea in martial arts before bowing to your opponent is it's a sign of honor, right? You don't just go blast straight out to fight a weakened opponent with a surprise attack when you do that, right? Yeah, I mean they did when. That's just because the portal was. That's just because the portal was opened in the Space Globalist arc, right? Oh, that would be sick, Blissey. Yeah, I'm really curious to see where they're gonna go with all of the god stuff, to be honest, because it's clearly something that they're wanting to establish is that this. I mean, obviously, people draw their powers from gods, which means that there has to be some power in that whole concept, right? Like the gods of this world have to be a thing, right? I don't know. I feel like the idea of taking things really far above what it is to things like gods and aliens and wars and stuff starts to become incredibly hard to juggle. I feel like that becomes a very difficult thing to juggle in the scope of a restricted, a fairly restricted kind of like plot about characters. Not to say that you couldn't do it, that Tatsu couldn't do it. It's just, it's very easy, I think, to get lost in that kind of stuff. One of my really big problems with things like Naruto is that it got so wildly ridiculous. Like the power levels of people became so silly just because everybody had a new power and a new power on top of that. It just, you get too many characters, too many plot lines, and it becomes incredibly difficult to navigate, right? The more that you, and it's not necessarily a problem. It's not necessarily a problem if the direction of the manga is going in the way of what would you say, like kind of becoming a bit more of a somewhat typical kind of shonen. But as you can see here, you can't constantly have Momo and Okurun be a center point of the story if you're going to start expanding the world out a lot, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's suddenly going to become a lot more complicated. Because not everything can be about Momo and Okurun when you've got literal godhoods, like gods fighting each other. I don't know. Maybe I'm off key with it. It's just I do like the idea that things are a little bit focused. I like focused stories, I think, right? Yeah. No, I think it's a good point, Castwell. There's definitely been, we've been going through fights, right? Like normally the arcs have like a major fight, right? A major enemy antagonist. But because we've got so many of them at the moment, we are having to get through fights fairly quickly, and we are going through yokai to the point where they're a bit less iconic, you know? I'm not really complaining, to be honest. This is the first time that it's done it, and a lot of these enemies I expect are going to get a bit more screen time in the future. I mean, hopefully not the storm guy, the typhoon guy, but I suspect that we've got a lot of right now. We've got a lot of things happening in the background that we aren't conscious of, that we aren't made aware of, because we, the audience, follow our main characters for the most part, and we kind of don't really have an idea of who's doing what in the background and where the gang fit into that. Like, where do they slot into that plan, right? So yeah, I don't really mind it. I don't think the Evil Eye is going to get his ass kicked. I think that he's going, I mean, we kind of need to see him do something. To me, what would really make this all worth it is if the Evil Eye and Gigi were to kind of combine in some way, or move towards a better understanding. And, you know, like, if you think about it, the stuff, the fight in the gym hall, right? That was all about the characters coming together and advancing their powers as a consequence of that, getting stronger, unlocking a part of themselves, which is what Koki did, right? She unlocked her powers through her ability to connect with the rest of the gang. And that group of people who previously didn't really have that much time to work together, like, because that isn't an expected group. Got a moment to shine, right? They got a moment to shine together, and it worked. It was effective. Okurun and Kinta, right? They got a moment to shine together. It's not a typical pairing, and through accepting himself and his past, because of his connection with Kinta, and in a lot of ways because Kinta is so expressive about how he feels, Okurun was able to unlock part of himself, and he was able to win. He was able to power himself up because of his connection. You know, I guess you could also make the argument that on the plane, the reason that they were able to defeat the Typhoon yokai cryptid was because of the fact that Gigi and Zuma were able to put aside their differences and work together right at the end to combine their powers together, and they became stronger as a consequence of that. So, if you were to think about this specific situation, if you were to follow the same theme that we followed so far with all the other fights, what logically makes sense here is for the Evil Eye and Gigi to be able to combine their powers somewhat to connect and become more powerful as a consequence of that. We've had very little from the Evil Eye, but we are being shown and reminded, yes, he does exist because of the last fight. So, you know, I would not be surprised if this bit, and we'll get back to the actual chapter in a second, but if the Evil Eye showing up at this moment, I wouldn't be surprised if it was in an effort to kind of like combine the two of them, make them a bit more powerful by getting past something together, right? Getting past a wall together to empower themselves. We are clearly in this arc setting up the next big bad, right? The next threat on the horizon. And it's clearly something that the gang currently aren't strong enough for. So this has been a very much a powering up arc. And as Dandadan is wont to do, I suspect that it's through their bonds together that they're able to advance these powers. And where a lot of the other enemies have fallen in discord with each other, Discord link, Patreon link in the description, join my Discord as a free member, but by joining my Patreon as a free member. Anyway, comparatively, the enemies that they've faced have often fallen into discord and fighting each other comparatively, and they're weaker for it, right? If that makes sense. So, I can only suspect here we're going to get the same thing. And whoever this fog guy is, whoever that frog was from the last chapter, I suspect him and this dude are not going to get on for the whole fight, right? Because a united front is stronger than even a bigger force, right? Sorry, I started blabbing there. I haven't read the chat in a minute. I haven't seen Parasite or read Parasite, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, yeah, it's really sad to see Saiko like this, because she's such a strong character. But at the end of the day, guys, it is down to the youth, right? It's the kids that are here to save the day. And the adults really are only here to pass a torch. And Saiko's a great example of a character who tries her best to shield people from the world, really, which is what she tried to do in the Evil Eye arc. But the reality is that you can't do that. You can't be the one to do that all the time. Toaster, very funny. He got me. I don't know if he has access to the cursed house anymore. I think that was part of the underwear that he had, that was the cursed part of him. That was the evil part of the Evil Eye, really. And that was what carried in it the sorrow and the pain and the suffering, the despair of all these other people that suffered. And he took that in to himself, an avatar for them. But maybe, I don't know. I suspect that it is... No worries, Kylan. Catch ya. I suspect that that's kind of the limit. I don't know though. Yeah, yeah. I don't think it affects my theory necessarily. I think, oh, support just got a Macca's. Bloody hell. Go on, get us a Macca's. Get it in. I don't think that it affects my theory. I still think that the overarching completion of the theme, for me, is that you have multiple times seen in the arc that that connections and the way that you feel about your friends is something that can empower you, but it can also be used against you, right? I think that would be the ultimate completion of that theme, right? Is an inversion of it at the last minute. Is an inversion of it at the last minute to kind of like show a literal depowering of Momo, to show that these people are also sophisticated enough to exploit that bond. The thing that is your strength, your strongest ability, is also the same thing that is the weakness in your armor, right? And I think that that's a lot to contend with. And taking the purest relationship out of all of these, the one that's driven the characters the most throughout the series, and inverting that and using that as the weakness, to me is the ultimate bastardization of what Dandadan's all about. And I'll tell you what, if you see the bad guy exploiting your favorite ship, right? The point of Dandadan, in order to use or overpower or abuse them, that's one way to establish him as a serious villain, as an actual contender, right? Like, he's able to manipulate your favorite characters into giving up powers. I think that's one way to establish him as a serious contender, a serious villain, right? Because CSG so far has done nothing. And all we keep getting is misdirection on top of misdirection, right? Saying that, oh, the ninjas stole the hammer is also a misdirection, because it's like, oh, right, it's CSG. But it's like we never see him. He's always in the shadows. All of this, he's just nowhere to be seen, right? So they need to establish him. We need to establish CSG as a serious guy, a serious contender. We need to see the Kazuka knives be used in order for them to actually be a threat. They need to be used. And I feel like we need a big Momo and Okuru moment by the end of this, right? And I think that's the one. I've been very attached to this theory for a very long time. I've been very attached to this theory since pretty much the beginning of the year. So at this point, it's ride or die, right? For me, it's ride or die at this point with it. If it doesn't work, then I'll write it myself. If it doesn't happen, I'll just fan fiction and write it myself, all right? And I'll release that on my Patreon for free. Patreon link in the description, guys. Join as a free member, and you can get access to my Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan, and other things as well. We talk about all kinds of things on there. It's pretty fun. You'd probably like it. Give me time, Usa. Give me time. You gotta give me some time on it. All right. I am working on another piece of content, by the way, guys. I'm hoping to get it premiered. It's gonna be like 20 minutes. I'm hoping to get it premiered on Wednesday. So stay alert for that, guys. Stay aware of that. Aiming for Wednesday. You know? Yeah, no, I that is something. That's definitely something, Usa. Honestly, like for me, the biggest pleasure that I can think about when it comes to anything to do with my work is the comments on the YouTube channel. It's a pretty magical experience. So I do understand. It's quite a high. It's quite a high, let me tell you. You know? But yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's not really either here nor there, is it? But yes, so I'm gonna be putting out more content. I'm gonna be putting out more content ideally on Wednesday, so stay alert, stay awake for that, guys. All right. That's very kind of you. So I would like to see that. You should DM me that because I tend to remember most of the comments that I make. You know, so I'd like to see that. Also, it's very funny. That raccoon bit is very funny. Support is like a raccoon. Thanks, Hoops. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes it's you know, it's hard to get the content out, but you know, if you care about it, you want to get it done, it gets done one way or another. And then we've also got the double streams, you know, we've also got the double streams and things like that. So there's a lot of opportunities for touch points right now, right? Yeah, no, somebody please let Old Toaster know about it in the Discord. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member on my Patreon and you get access to the Discord. I have not played Deltarune, nor have I played that other thing. What's the one that comes before it? What's the thing? I forget what it's called. Somebody chat, let me know what that thing's called that I played once and then I didn't play again. Raccoon Port wasn't pinned. I know, it's a shame, isn't it? Undertale, that's the one. Undertale, not played it. I'll get to it eventually though. It's on the list. It's on the list. Anyway, the strange mystery man slams down his leg into the ground, but Psycho is able to action roll past it, which is pretty baller. And you know, like I said earlier, the fact that she's got her like broken ribs and stuff, she is holding her own, right? Like, just the way that Tatsu does these action panels is so great because it's quite clear what is happening here, right? Like it's just a flurry of arms and legs, but you can see exactly the kind of the timeline through which these actions take in your head. It's like you fill in the gaps yourself. It's really cool, you know. I'll get around to it. No worries. I think it's 9 weeks until... Is it 9 weeks until it's over? Is that it? I'm not counting down that. That's depressing. That's depressing. Yeah. Alright, what's this? Aw. I just saw that message you, so that's very sweet. It's very nice that you screenshotted it and saved it. That makes me very happy. That makes me very happy. But yeah, season 2 forever. Let's just have season 2 forever, guys. Okay. Let's just have season 2 forever. Okay. We don't need to worry about there being a season 3 if season 2 goes on forever, right? But anyway. Globalist arc. Yeah, we'll get there eventually, I'm sure. Honestly, like I can't imagine what the feeling in the room must be for them now, because the idea of doing the Space Globalist arc retold video, to me, it keeps me up at night. You know, that's gonna be very long and very exhausting. I mean, doing a lot of long form content is actually quite a terrifying prospect to me. It's quite scary to think about the idea of having to sit down and edit for that amount of time. But we'll see. I don't want it to be a movie. I don't know why people keep talking about it being like a movie, because I don't see the benefit of it being a movie. Why would you want it to be 2 hours long when it could be a whole season? It needs to be a whole season. Other than production value, but the production value I'd rather have spread out spread out across the whole season. I don't know why people would want that condensed, right? I honestly, like, we're already pretty. What is it, like 12 episodes a season? I feel like 12 episodes a season is already kind of limited, right? Right? It's not cutting anything out, but it's not especially long. I would absolutely hate for it to be a movie. I don't see the benefit of it being a movie, right? The current running theory, Dot, is that season 2 will adapt everything up to chapter 74, I think, which is the Takoyaki one, I think. No, not 74. 73? Yeah, so everything up to, not including 74, is my understanding of where we're at, theory-wise. Yeah, they'd have to cut out all of the best bits in order... Look, sometimes it's best to just have the screen time to let things breathe, right? Like, if production value, right? This is... Right, this is a tangent, guys. Okay, we're about to get a tangent. Okay, so buckle in. Recently, I saw on Twitter... I don't know if it was official. I think it was official for something to do with, like, the... I think it was Naruto. It was the Naruto, whatever anniversary. So in order to, so what they did is they reanimated a bunch of... Shut up, support, all right? I'm in the middle of it, okay? They reanimated a bunch of old fights, right? A bunch of really big moments in the show, but they did it in a... hate chapter reviews. No more chapters, just tangents. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so they reanimated a bunch of stuff in the show into the new style, right? And it's flashy. It's very flashy. There are a lot of different colors, right? But goddamn, it does not look good. I just don't get it. I just do not get it. Like the original fights were like rotoscoped. The actual frame by frame doesn't look that good. It kind of looks, you know the evil eye when he's kicking the cursed ball around. How the frame rate massively increases because it's rotoscoped. It's a literal actual movements, but each of the frames is less detailed. That's the trade-off. Is that you're getting smoother animation that better represents the complexity of the actions at the expense of the visual frame-to-frame looking, you know, how it does, of a higher quality. Who cares? Like the quality of the frame-to-frame, it doesn't really matter when you get the energy of the fight through. When you get the when you can see it and watch it, and it really feels like you are getting a visceral battle between these two characters, right? The reanimated stuff it increases the production value dramatically. But it doesn't look as good. It doesn't feel as good. It feels way, way worse. It feels way, way worse. Okay? And it looks awful, right? Now, conversely, right? One of the... and everybody knows how plagued Evangelion was, right? Everybody says that Evangelion... Everybody knows that Evangelion was plagued with some serious production issues towards the end of the season, right? One of the most iconic anime series ever made, and it's brilliant, by the way. It's brilliant. But it was plagued with a lot of production issues towards the end. They ran out of money, right? And there was this one moment where Rei and Asuka are in an elevator together, right? There's a lot of animosity between the two characters. There's a lot of tension between the two characters, for a variety of reasons that if you want to know, watch it. Go watch the anime. It's fantastic. But there's animosity, there's tension between them, and they're in an elevator together. Now, this single frame of them in the elevator together goes on for ages, right? You can feel every second of it. It goes on for ages, okay? But it's And yes, the reason that they did that is because they ran out of money, right? They had to do that because they ran out of money and they needed to pad out the episode. But there is an element of tension in that scene, and the length, it's like an uncomfortable silence. It feels like an uncomfortable silence because it goes on for way longer than it should, and you're just sat there like, you know, like when someone says something really, really fucking awkward, and you're just kind of like, cool, all right. You're stuck on an elevator with someone that you hate. They know that you don't like them, right? And they're kind of not even really all there themselves. And you're stuck together on an elevator. And it ends in a slap, right? But you can feel the tension of it. And that's them doing a lot with a little, right? You've got a production. You're saying a lot with basically spending nothing in order to say a lot in a scene, because that's artistry, right? Now these movies are like, it's like you can condense down the story and increase the production value, make it very, very flashy if you want. It doesn't carry through with it all of those small moments because they can't afford to have them, because having those small quiet moments, it takes up runtime, right? When they could be doing something flashier. And Dandadan, in my opinion, is not that kind of anime. I think it's the small moments, the quiet moments, are the ones that really matter, right? The scene of Okrun just walking away from Momo's house at the end of episode 4 is one of the most iconic scenes, despite the fact that they had a huge fight earlier in the episode that was incredible, that was beautifully animated, right? That's not what sticks in here with Dandadan, right? It's them looking at each other, right? I'm not going to talk about the hospital scene in End of Evangelion. If you want an actual real opinion about that, you should read about it. It's there's a lot of depth to Evangelion that people have already explained to death online and done a bloody good job of it. I don't know that I could do the same quality of breakdown that a lot of these people do. You need to put yourself in, lock your mind in Evangelion to really get it. End of Evangelion is incredible. Evangelion in general is amazing. It's so good. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's fantastic. But yeah. Anyway. This chapter is garbage. What? What do you mean? I don't think that he does not hate Psycho. No, if he hated Psycho, then she would not be putting up a fight here, dude. She is doing a damn good job. What is the wild take? What is the wild take is the bit about the chapter. No, he does not hate Psycho. She's putting up a fight here. And despite the fact that she is incredibly injured, she's still pushing forward. It's not like Demon Slayer, or if you're thinking in the dimensions of your Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisens, you will be bored when watching Evangelion. Alright? Evangelion is nothing like those. That is more of just like shonen kind of like action anime. Evangelion is a deeply inquisitive and cerebral piece of fiction. I think that Evangelion is one of the animes that transcend the medium to become something truly special. But you have to let yourself feel for the characters. There's no 14-year-old kids that are going to be like, oh, I'm super powered, whatever, going to save the world. That takes a toll on a young mind, and Evangelion shows you why, right? There's too much weight for anybody to bear in reality, especially for people who are deeply, deeply unhappy, right? It shows. Yeah, Tarantado. One day I'd love to talk about Evangelion, guys. I'd love to talk about Evangelion one day, guys. But I don't think now's the outlet. But it's fantastic. Please go watch it. Anyway, I don't think Tatsu hates any of his characters. I don't think he'd write them if he didn't like them. And if he didn't like them, he'd probably just write them out. There's so many characters at this point that you don't need to bring characters back. Pomade soon, Eric. Pomade soon. Pomade soon. Anyway, point is that I think that, well, yeah. One metaphor. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Grip it and rip it, baby, yeah. It's a lime Coke. It's a lime. Anyway. Yeah, so he's hitting her with immense precision, right? He's going straight for her vitals. And he also knows exactly how to counteract pretty much everything that she's doing, right? Now, the benefit of Psycho is that she is pretty analytical. And just like Momo, she's incredibly on point in any kind of fight. I think that that's where she performs best. That's where she thinks quickest. And this frame is so good, by the way. What are we looking at? Yeah, did they get rid of the lemon Coke? I quite like the lemon Coke. It was good. They just don't want us to mix them together. No, the lemon Coke was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was very refreshing. I don't know about CSG fighting Reiko Kashima, to be honest. Like, I don't really care that much about who wins, like this character versus this character, who wins kind of thing. It's not something I really care about. For me, I care about the characters more than anything. I care about just keeping the plot going forward. I do think that I personally, I don't really see Reiko Kashima coming back anytime soon. I just don't see it. Maybe later she will, like if there's another invasion arc or something. It would be one way to show that the villain is very powerful by defeating the person who defeated the entire alien fleet. I just don't really care that much. I feel like she was more there to kind of push Momo and Okarun together. I don't know that bringing her back necessarily helps push that forward in any capacity. I just don't think... Yeah, I just don't really think that... I just don't really think that it would be necessarily adding much by bringing her back. I feel like she got her conclusion. And it shows that with yokai, you don't necessarily always get to heal somebody's hate by just talking at them, by just one instance, one encounter. That doesn't necessarily fix somebody's pain. She's moved on, she's adapted it, but she's not passed to the other side, right? Yeah, the Kito's coming back is still weird to me. It's still such a weird thing. That whole plane bit was probably the low point of this arc for me. I don't think that the plane stuff necessarily justified its own existence. To be honest, this is already a very long arc. People are getting frustrated with every single time that Momo and Okarun are not together in a new chapter. And I understand why they're not. I understand wanting to build it up. I also understand that, you know, for someone who's going to read this all in one go, it's not going to feel as bad as it feels for us week on week. But I kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of don't see how the whole plane thing really worked, right? Also, I accidentally called Daiki's father a plane, and that's been plaguing me ever since. Right? If that plane arc didn't exist, I wouldn't have had to have said that stupid ass comment. Now everybody keeps following me around in the Discord. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member and you get access to the Discord. Best place on the internet for Dandadan. But I wouldn't have to be putting up with that in the Discord. Alright? I wouldn't have to be putting up with that in the Discord. I was very tired that day, alright? I was working tirelessly. Oh look, Danny appeared as well to laugh at me. I was really tired that day, all right? I had been working on the Retold, and it was so long. I worked on it for so long. I was so tired. I was like, oh, my dad was playing like a fucking idiot. Oh, my God. Oh, it's foolish. It was a foolish moment. It was a low point in this channel. Brought apart by a low point in this arc. You know? God damn it. Yeah. I do think that like the candy stuff, like that, the weird kind of like obstacle course in the Danmara arc is still. Oh, thanks, Orbis. My first member, ladies and gentlemen, here to laugh at me. I do think that the obstacle course stuff in the Danmara arc is still, it still doesn't necessarily justify its existence outside of seeing Momo and Zuma work together, right? And it's like, you could have done that probably. It's like, fine, you know, not everything's going to be an absolute 10 out of 10 every single week. Oh no, please, Kazuo, please, no. But anyway, right, so the this panel, right, where he goes to punch Psycho and she dodges it, and you get this kind of fisheye lens kind of thing. That is so cool. That is, in my opinion, that's the panel. That is the panel of the chapter for me, right? Like, that is the panel of the chapter for me. Now I'm looking at it. I probably could have used that to in the thumbnail, so people wouldn't have been so angry at me. But that's life. Tough titties, idiot. Sorry, moron. Right? No, I do feel a bit bad about that, to be honest. I'd hate to be spoiled by that too. So, anyway. Hindsight, yeah. It's 2020, you know? Although, my vision is actually 2010. So that would be a downgrade, if anything. More than anything. You know? But, anyway. So, she dodges it and is a very cool shot. Big fan of it, to be honest. But it's a good way of showing us that she, again, like I said, is a quick thinker in this situation. And because he's going after her vitals, that means that she can figure out where he's going to strike next and counteract. And as she does, she punches through him and he turns into fart gas. He just turns into a big cloud of fart gas. It's so messed up. You think I would have thought... To be honest, I did kind of. Right? In my defense, I did kind of say in the Discord, by the way, guys, Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member and you get access to my Discord, as we've already seen by Dot. Nice to have you there, Dot. Thank you for joining. When I posted my stream... Alright, see you, Eric. When I posted the stream thing, I did mention that it was a bit clickbait, right? So I did... I kind of did anticipate it a little. Sometimes you know, you have to push the boundaries to know exactly where they are, and then you kind of like, right, okay, we've established exactly what is too far, what is not. You know, did we lose a subscriber over it? Yes, that's life though. Maybe he'll return one day, I hope. But you know, that's life, son. You know, that's life. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Anyway, the point is that, you know, here we are, guys. That's all that matters. And also, I don't want to be the guy to say it. But I'm going to say it. Generally speaking, the viewership for the stream has been higher than... The viewership for this stream has been higher than normal. So... It obviously worked. That's creating confusion for me. Alright? Anyway, whatever. So You know, what are you gonna do? From a purely pragmatist standpoint, hey, you know, come on, what are you gonna do? You know, I baited the clicks, guys. Oh look, Blissy, Magica Dispel's wife clearly speaks your language. Anyway, she punches through the mystery guy and he turns into fart gas, and then he gives her an uppercut. I'm gonna sneeze, guys. Oh, ooh, that was a sneeze. I have hay fever, guys. You might not know this about me. That's lore. I have hay fever. Fart gas. I know. And then he uppercuts her, and it's a hell of an uppercut. And then he punches her in her ribs. I feel like that's her ribs. Yeah, it's the fart gas. Thanks for the blessings, guys. I can't read it, but you can speak it. Chat, clip that. Blissy can't read. Blissy can't read. Chat, clip that. Clap, clip, clap. Anyway. So he punches her in her ribs. And, yeah, he's pretty much just kicks the crap out of her. And he punches her straight through a massive pillar into the distance and straight into a wall. It's really hard to... It's actually quite hard to watch her getting her ass beat so badly, in all fairness. Like, I'm quite displeased. Oh, hold on, guys. You guys didn't see the dogs there, did you? You didn't catch the dogs when I was doing that, did you? Yeah, structural support. Yeah, they were support. They were load bearing. What was that joke? What was the load bearing joke, by the way? What was the load bearing joke that you made ages ago? That was so funny. Just drop it in the Discord or something so I can laugh at it again. The load cake. That was it. Yeah. Load bearing cake panel. Yeah, that was so funny. Oh, I was dying at that. But yes, so he pretty decisively beats her here. So it's pretty difficult to see her. Yeah, no, I get that, bro, but like she got the same kind of, like, she got her ass handed to her not long back as well, but to her that's all in the same day, right? This is pretty brutal stuff. And it's also the fact that he keeps punching her in her ribs and stuff. It's concerning. It makes you genuinely feel concerned for her. You know? She looks like me when I do a push-up. You can do a push-up? No, we've got a bodybuilder in the chat here. Somebody can actually do a push-up. That's pretty crazy. Anyway. Yeah, so she's been pretty decisively punched into a wall, right? And then he's doing that whole thing. Yeah, it's the joke, Ben. Ben, the joke is that Caswell is referring to doing a push-up, which is obviously a low number of push-ups. Just a single one is not many. So then I am indicating one push-up is a lot of push-ups, you know? But anyway, he does that whole thing that villains do where they're all like, oh, finally, I can finally, like, I've finally found a warrior who could surprise me. You know that villain thing? Where it's just like, ah, finally, a warrior capable of surprising me. It's like, it's so villainous. It's so evil. Like, we get it. You think that you're really hot shit, bro. Like, goddamn. It's like, you know what I mean? Yeah, Orbis. Orbis knows what's good. Orbis knows what's good. Look at that. Oh, damn. Infinitely more. Quite right. Quite right. Our battle will be legendary. Oh, yes. Classic. Classic Kung Fu Panda in the chat, guys. You know. Can't count. It was one time. It was one time. And it's because I was too smart. No, shut the fuck up. This is because I was too smart for the counting to 10. Alright? I'm too smart for the counting to 10 game. That's what it was. I thought that it was a more complicated. I thought it was a more complicated game. It couldn't possibly be. It's like, it must be a more complicated game than just going 1 through 10. But then I forgot that Among Us is made for babies. Alright, yeah. Sorry, I got a little vexed there. A little vexed there, alright? I'm back to normal though, guys. I'm back to normal though. Anyway. Yeah, exactly, Orbis. Exactly. He knows. He knows what's good. Guy knows what's good. No, no, please, not the plane thing. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. It's fine. Anyway, turns out this idiot's a smoke yokai, or he's got smoke yokai powers, right? Like that guy from Infamous Second Son. Mistaken notion about that. I'm gonna scream. Give you your clipping permissions back. You have clipping permissions. Can you not clip? Support can't clip. Chat, clip this. Chat, clip this. Yeah, no, Anira is not gonna work, right? He's Tesco CSG. Tesco home brand CSG. Smoke guy is quite funny. Tesco home brand CSG. No, don't get Grok to weigh in on anything. Don't get Grok to weigh in on anything. I know what his answer will be. All right, go well, you know. You know what it is. You know what it would be. Smoked beef as Cascoin. That's quite good. I like that. That's quite good. Anyway, and as he comes over, he starts to kick her in the ribs again. The ribs. And tries to get her to accept her defeat. Highlighting that she can't win, and it's time for her to just surrender her powers, right? Which she doesn't do, and she tries to kick him in the balls, and it's badass. All right, it's badass. She's just insulting him and tries to kick him in the balls, and then he just like kicks her flying, right, like really far. He's such a douche, man. He's the worst guy. This guy is the worst guy because his whole thing it's a signature move. This guy's the worst guy because he's so self-serious the whole time, right? He's all like, ooh, finally a challenge. Now you know you cannot win. It's like, bruh, you're a loser. Shut up. Shut the hell up. Anyway, Momo hears what I presume is her grandma getting her ass beat. And she's all like, what's going on? What was that noise? And Vimola clearly can't remember who Momo is and says that there's a fairy on her head. And Momo then wishes that Saiko is okay when she, in the next panel, looks anything but okay. She is like in a bad state, by the way. Like, she does notice her, but she can't remember who she is. I do wonder whether or not her suit gives her a bit of extra power. I love her suit. By the way, I love that it's still the stupid Godzilla suit. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she's clearly got some kind of power. Like I said earlier, like at the beginning of the stream, it's kind of difficult to know exactly what Psycho's abilities are precisely, because we haven't really seen them demonstrated that much. I guess maybe just her ability to have psychic anything, right? Like her senses, I suppose. I do suspect she's got like whatever it is that Momo has. She has that, but to perhaps a weakened degree, right? Something like that. Yeah, no, he definitely has made this fight look brutal, because by the end of it, she is like covered in blood, right? And then the guy just appears on top of her and just starts standing on her. It's like, come on, dude, is that your whole thing? You just stand on people, right? The guy has a superiority complex. Like, I wanted hair down Psycho back, all right? I wanted her back with her hair down, but not like this. This isn't how I wanted it. This is a monkey paw moment, all right? I didn't want it to happen this way. God damn it. It ain't right. No, I think that, he's just like you. No. No. I feel like whatever it is that Momo... There's clearly like a subset of people who have just psychic abilities, and clearly Psycho has that as well. Just not to the same degree that Momo does, right? Unless she has some power that we aren't aware of yet. Yeah, I don't really... Honestly, like most of the time, you'll see people talking about power systems and things like that, as though all these different anime and manga have defined power systems. They kind of don't. They make that shit up as they go, right? Most of the time, it's just, I'm the strongest guy and you can't beat me. And then you beat him, and then you're the strongest guy. But then there's another strongest guy. I don't think that any of these things are really power systems, really. You just have people of varying different strengths, but you get to such a strength, like some characters get so strong that it's like, right, okay, now they're the ultimate power. So the previous characters who they would hang around with, all of those lot, they either need a boost or they're stuck being weak and become irrelevant in all the battles. I don't care about that. That's exhausting to keep track of. I just don't care about that. I like that Dandadan kind of just introduces characters, or enemies rather, that are just what would you say? They're kind of like, they've all got a very unique thing going on, that are pretty much designed to kind of be more interesting with their powers, to create puzzles or complicated scenarios to overcome, right? Like the typhoon cryptid. It wasn't necessarily that his power was so remarkable that it couldn't be defeated. It was, they're on a plane right now, and this guy is literally a typhoon, right? Like, it doesn't matter what your powers are in this scenario. You're kind of matched against the worst situation. So it's a puzzle. How do you overcome that? That kind of thing. It forces the characters to think a little bit, right? Which is not in line with a lot of typical kind of like thingy where they just go, oh, I'm strong because I'm thinking, and I think that I'm stronger now because I remember I love people, and now you're strong. Who cares, man? You know? It's just exhausting. Dandadan just kind of does its own thing. I do think that there is potential for the characters to get stronger and for enemies to be stronger, but a lot of that is because you're fighting organizations, right? Groups of people, rather than just like a new threat who's just completely undefeatable, that kind of thing. CSG's power, from what I've gathered, must be remarkable, but he influences other people, which is where a lot of his abilities come from. Do you know what I mean? Like the difference between fighting the Serpos and Acro Silky is remarkable, because the Serpos brought the Loch Ness Monster with them and turned the whole place into water, right? It's like, How do you overcome that? How do you think about your way out of that, right? Or when people connect with each other and combine their abilities together. I like that kind of shit, right? I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, to be honest, the term power scaling, I think, doesn't even really mean anything with Dandadan at the moment, to be honest. Like for me, people becoming more sure of themselves and that being their path to unlocking power, or being able to connect with other characters and that being the source of their power, I think that's really important because it continues to relate to the character-driven stuff, right? It's the stuff that's external to characters that I don't care, right? Like, if it's not reflective of the characters necessarily, who cares, right? Right, okay, before I progress, because we're just towards the end of the chapter, there's still a bit to go, like the evil eye at the end, I'm just going to do the pomade. I'm just going to do pomade right now, alright, while I still remember to do it. So, guys, as you no doubt are already aware, Patreon link in the description. You can join as a free member to get access to the Discord, but there are then those special people who decide to not just do that, to just join as a free member. Now, it's worth noting that, guys, appreciate all of you, right? I appreciate all of you. Everybody's doing something to support the channel just by being here, watching the content, enjoying the content, leaving comments, engaging with what I'm putting out. And that is incredibly valuable to me. But these people are the people who push the boundaries of what is I could even conceptualize as supporting the channel. So top tier patrons on the Yokai Power tier, Power User tier. That's Angle, Blissycat, Burlap Sack, Danny, 5th Gram, Generally Jellies, Hoopster, Inspiring Bootuber, Mothersport, Mr. the Wolf is a silly guy, Orbis, Sarah, Serpo, and Tim Kai. I don't think there are any people that I'm missing there, but it's hard to keep track of it. I appreciate you guys so much, like genuinely so much. I can't express enough how meaningful it is to me, because you know I'm just like a guy who sits at his computer all day. It's really the glamorous part of it. As glamorous as it gets, guys, is I'm just a guy who sits at a computer and just does this, writes Dandadan crap, man. And there are some of you, a lot of you, and a number that grows, that is growing, that find worth in that to support it. Okay, I mean, I'm down with that. I'm happy about it, but it's hard to adequately express how meaningful that is to me. So thank you. Anyway, so Psycho is pretty much knocked down. Alright, Tarantado, good luck with your internet. And I'll catch you guys. No, it's not kind. You guys are the ones who are offering the kindness to me. I'm just trying to reciprocate that where I can. Alright. Anyway. Anyway, so she's knocked out, and then here's that panel of her knocked out on the floor, which got me into so much trouble with the people who were upset about the thumbnail. Oopsie, silly guy. You know, they don't call me a silly guy for nothing. They don't call me a silly guy for nothing, right? Let me just swap out the music for a bit. Did the thing. Don't be such a negative Nancy support. Anyway, and then he just starts standing on her ribs. All right. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's her ribs at this point, but like whatever. Anyway. And then he keeps doing his whole villain shtick, where he's like, "Oh, how incredible! If only you would just accept your defeat. You don't need to suffer. I envy your spirit." And then he starts talking of like biological determinism. It's like, I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. You human beings, right? It's like, bro, like, why are you so evil? What you doing? Why are you so evil? He looks happy as Larry. Yeah, riffs. Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh no. From a biological standpoint, it makes no sense. Why are you? You should fear death. You know. And then he's all like, you know, he's basically threatening to just torture her, up until she's able to and ready to accept defeat. And yeah, guy's a cringe lord. You know, he needs his guy. This is the sound, right? Yeah, I know. See this guy here talking, right? This is the sound of a guy who's never had his ass beat. All right, someone needs to get in here and kick his ass. Stole the Yap Yokai powers, bro. Shut up and fight. Yeah, Caswell, you tell him. Shut the hell up. Shut your ass up. This is the sound of a guy who's never had his ass whooped. What the hell, man? Shut the hell up. God damn. And then my boy crashes on the scene. All right, he's all like, "Yo, it's me. I'm back." God damn. The Baby Shark loop, an ad. An ad started playing on my Baby Shark video loop. All right, so its spell broke free. All right, so let's go. Is the Baby Shark in here? He's just carrying one of the ninjas behind him. This is sick. Okay, this is epic. All right, like, this is sick. This is a moment. All right, this is a good moment. I'm very excited. Yeah, I need more Robux. I love the way that not just us, but the whole, like, all the Dandadan communities that I've seen treat him like he's a baby, right? Because that is kind of what he is. I love it. I absolutely adore this. And I hope that he whoops his ass. God damn it. Alright? I want him to kick his goddamn ass! Damn. I'm incensed. I'm infuriated. Alright? How dare he do that to Psycho? What the hell, man? Guy's a complete piece of shit. Kick his fucking ass, man! God damn it! Oh, I'm excited for next week. He's gonna game good, right? We've not seen the evil eye like doing stuff, like really doing stuff for a minute, right? Okay, it's been a minute. Yeah, he is. I don't care. Run those hands, not those lips. Yeah, god damn. No, don't say that, Blissey. I'll be so upset. We need justice. God damn it. Yeah, we need a proper moment. And I really hope that this is one of those moments where the evil eye and Gigi can maybe just kind of interact a little bit in their little mind palace, right? I'll be great. I'd love that because Gigi's kind of accepted the evil eye as part of him, and that's where he got his power, the evil gun power, from, right? When he started to accept that is part of him now. I think it would be ideal. To double down on that, right? To double down on that, and to kind of learn a little bit more about each other and connect a little bit and draw out more power that way, because we've seen that across this whole arc. It's been about people working together, coming together, accepting themselves, and part of them that they rejected previously, like in Okarun's case, and being stronger for it, in spite of their enemies, right? And I think that that's what we have the opportunity to do here. I would be surprised if like, thematically speaking, that makes the most sense. And if they don't do that, then perhaps I'm wrong about the whole theme. Tatsu strikes me as a guy who plans this kind of stuff, right? Who does attach themes to an arc, which is what I really like about Dandadan, is that every arc carries a very unique theme to it, and I think that's great. I think that's really interesting, and I think that it elevates the series into something really special. If he doesn't, then it's just good writing. It's very serendipitous that the writing does seem to feed into a specific theme. You know, sometimes that's just how it runs. You don't necessarily think about how you're going to put together the writing or the arc, but the kind of like shared experiences that people go through kind of exist in the subtext of the scenes, if that makes sense. If that's the case, that's even cooler. That just shows that it's incredibly natural, right? Yeah, I mean, it would also the fact that it's Psycho that's there as well, who seems to know the most about Gigi's condition, could also be the thing that helps him to unlock that side of himself, right? But yeah, overall as a chapter, guys, kind of intense, kind of an intense chapter, kind of a hard chapter to read, because it's just Psycho getting her ass beat, which we've seen a lot of this arc. But I think as well, because she's so because Psycho is so on top of things all the time, right? Because somebody had a 20 pack for no reason. That's a good point. That's a good point. He has no physical body, so he gave himself a 20 pack. Yeah, we're not going to see Ida for months. We're not going to see Ida for months. So so settle in, all right? But I suppose part of it is that Psycho is, up until now, she's kind of been treated as this immovable object, right? When she showed up, it always felt like, oh, right, okay, things are gonna get back to normal because she knows what she's doing, right? Now, when she shows up in the Cursed House arc, which we're gonna see this week, she pretty much takes control of the situation really quickly because she's experienced, she's the adult in the room, and it feels like because of that you can attach a degree of reassurance that things are going to be okay, right? It's like when your parent steps in and it's like, all right, don't worry about it, like you know, like they've got this situation handled, right? But then you realized, oh, actually they're super just people. And Psycho getting her ass kicked, it's like, right, okay, so we are at a point now where the level of threat is just elevated, because this character that you could previously rely on to bring a degree of security to the situation is getting her ass kicked left, right, and center, you know, and she's going to be out of commission. So it would be down to the team, the gang, to sort themselves out. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she's going to be in hospital for a while after this, to be honest, right? And I can only presume that that this is the extent to which Psycho is going to be really working and operating in this arc, right? Like, I can't see her really being back in it in any real capacity up until, well, maybe like as a talking role, but not in a fighting role. It'll be really nice if the rest of the gang who are hanging out in back home would come and help deal with some of this, right? That's going to be a big moment when everybody's back together. Psycho's not going to die. Psycho's not going to die. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen. I don't think that is something that's going to happen in this in this manga. I think that's no way. I don't know why you're so attached to this idea that Psycho is going to die. To be honest, support. She's not. She's fine. Like, you are really attached to the whole idea of it. She's not going to, because she has too much she has too much knowledge wrapped up in her role. I think there's clearly stuff that's happening that support. I don't know why. Again, you're wrong. Maybe she'll die one day. Unlikely, but maybe she'll die one day. But she's not gonna die in this arc, or else they already would have killed her. I think. You know, I just don't buy that. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, Rin kind of had a bit of a moment. She had a bit of a moment, didn't she, earlier in the arc? But I don't know. I feel like the story kind of doesn't really know what to do with Rin in a lot of cases. She's kind of like, I mean, maybe she might still get a moment to shine, to be honest, but like maybe when she's reconvened with everybody, then she might get a moment. But I suspect that by the time that everybody's back together, things are going to move quickly. I can't see us being in one really long fight for ages with the next battle. I suspect that we're going to focus on Momo and Okurun at that point. I think that there will be bigger things on the table. There'll be bigger things on the table than Rin. Right? And don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like she kind of had her opportunity, didn't she? I just think that when they get back together, there'll be bigger things to worry about than just Rin. Maybe she'll do something. Like, like, she's fine. I mean, she's fine. I just don't know that. It feels like at times the story isn't big enough for her. Like, it doesn't have enough space sometimes. And that's not her fault, like, as a character. I'm sure she's great. But I kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not biased. I think Rin's great. I think Rin's fine. Like, I've got no problem with Rin as a character, right? I think she's a bit boring, but that's just because we haven't really done much with her. I think that, yeah, but Kinta made space for himself. I'm not saying that there isn't room for Rin at all if she can slot into the story. I just feel like she's kind of like floating. That's all. She's kind of the lowest, like, even Koki did more. Even Koki did more in this arc. She's just kind of like, I liked what she did with like when she was looking after Koki. I thought that was really cute. That was like her role in that kind of like in the group as like the kind of like the person who looks after everybody. That's quite nice, but she hasn't really demonstrated that. Kinta has kind of like forced himself into the story in such a way that he's kind of like a massive part of it now, whether you like it or not. You know, like his whole speech about like friendship was so cool. No, he's got aura now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't like Kinta at first. All right, I made that clear. I was wrong about him. I didn't know his game. Tatsu hadn't sufficiently indicated to me his game. He's a better character than Rin. He's just a better character than Rin. I'm sorry, he is. Yeah, okay. Clip it. See if I give a shit. Alright? I like Koki a lot, right? I like Koki a lot. Okay, I think Koki's great, but that's just because I find her whole thing a little bit more engaging than I do Rin's thing. And Mai is annoying. There, I said it. Okay, I know I did my whole apology tour. But I don't care. Rin's a bit, Mai's a bit annoying. I just don't, whatever. Koki, because, yeah, that's badass. Rebellion. There's nothing cooler than Rebellion, man. Absolutely nothing cooler than it. She's badass. Koki is badass. Her whole piano thing looked so cool as well. It looked so cool. I hope that's not the case, Caswell, to be honest. I don't really care that much for I don't even care if they even pair any of the other characters up. I don't see the need to. It's a friends group. Not everybody has to be paired up together. I kind of like the idea that everybody's just friends. I don't necessarily see Gigi and Ida as a couple, outside of the fact that they're both the leftovers of Okarun and Momo being together. And I don't think that's a sufficient reason for them to get together, in my opinion. I've never seen any reason to... I've never seen any reason to think that Gigi and Ida would work together as a couple. You know? No, but this is my point. This is my point, though, Caswell. Like, it doesn't need to be. I don't think that Dandadan is just any other story. I just don't buy it. Look. Thank you, Natalia. Here's the thing, right? What's that guy's name in Demon Slayer? Zenzetsu? Something like that? The lightning guy. Annoying as shit. Most annoying guy ever. Creepy as hell. Creepy as hell to every woman that he meets, especially the vampire girl. And in the end, what happens? Well, he marries her. Of course he does. Because they have to, because they feel an obligation to put characters together. It's like, why? Like I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And I don't... The reason that Momo and Okarun work so well together is because it's been laid from day one. It's their story. And the complexity of their romance... The complexity of their romance is so... is so deep that just getting other characters and then going and now kiss with them, right? Like getting Gigi and Ida to just... And now they're together. It's like... it's like we've had the depth of a romance so deep, right? Like a romance that's so deep, and now you've just put them together. You've just put them together. Like, why? Like, it's not about whether they make sense. They could make sense. I'm not saying that they couldn't, but my point is, if you're going to do it, it needs complexity to it. It can't just be like a kind of like, and then Momo and Okarun got together, and Gigi and Ida, well, now they got together. It's like, well, why? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I just don't see it. I've never seen them as a couple. They've never done anything as a couple. They've never... All those moments, the groundwork laid for Momo and Okarun, right? It's so deep. It's so deep and romantically dense that it is a disservice to them and to every other romance pairing for them to just be like put together because they're both like, oh well, they're the second place kind of thing. It's like, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I'm not against it, right? I feel like I'm not getting my point across to you guys, right? Yeah, they're friends. They're definitely friends, right? I feel like I'm not getting my point across here. I'm fine with it. Just, you have, like, they get on, but make me believe that they would be a couple. What have they done that makes them a couple? I'm not against it. I'm fine with it. You know, I have no problem with it. It's just I just don't get it. Yeah, I mean, Kinta people ship him with Vamola, right? And there has been more reason for me to believe that Kinta would end up with Vamola than with Gigi and Ida. Because there has been, like, at least an inkling of that spread out throughout the series, right? Like, when he, in the Space Globalist arc, when they're parachuting down, basically, it's like, that's kind of a romantic scene. That's kind of a romantic scene that they just gave you. I'm not saying that it would work. I'm not saying I even want it to work. I'm just telling you that is more believable than Gigi and Ida. The reason people want Gigi and Ida to get together, the people who want Gigi and Ida to get together, the only thing that I've seen to make me believe that is that they don't want them to feel upset, that they got scorned, that they got rejected, right? And I get that, I do, but you have to lay the groundwork. Go through the panels and show me a moment that Gigi and Ida have had that is romantic. One moment that has been unequivocally a romance moment. You can't do it. You simply can't do it because it doesn't exist. You know? I just don't think that there is a moment that qualifies as romantic. Friendship, for sure. They're good friends. I believe that they're really good friends. I just don't see the point in just shipping people together for the sake of it. I just don't care for it. Like, I don't mind. I don't care if people want to do it in the community. If fans like, oh, I'd like these characters to be together, and then they ship them together, that's fine. Like, whatever, take it, run with it. You do what you want, girl. All right, I don't care. All right, but in the story, in the official story, I don't want them to just get slammed together for the sake of, like, well, they had to be together. It's like, well, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. They could have been friends. Yes, exactly. Ida deserves someone who wants Ida for Ida, right? I'm not even arguing. I'm just disagreeing. Yeah, I think Ida and Zuma would be a better match anyway. I think Ida and Zuma would be a way better match. You know, at least there is more tension. There is more tension between Gigi and Zuma. There is more tension between Gigi and Zuma than there is between Gigi and Ida. I would believe that more. Hell, I would believe that more. I don't, you know what I mean? No, I see what you mean, Caswell. No, I see what you mean. Like kind of like balancing the scales a bit. I hope that that's not the case. I hope that they don't feel the need to just start pairing people up. I hope they don't feel the need to just start pairing people up for no reason. Yeah, I think Gigi and Zuma have more reason to be together than Ida and Gigi do, because at least they've got attention, right? You know, like it may not be like of a romantic sort from the outset, but you know, you could easily construe it to be attention of that variety, you know. Yeah, I don't care. Whatever. In fact, it would go crazy. I think it would be badass. I think it would be badass for a series that concerns itself so deeply with the downtrodden, the outcast, and the socially marginalized, to have two characters to actually have a non-straight pairing in the series outwardly would be wild. Would be wild and crazy. Do it, cowards. I don't care. Who cares? That'd be sick. You know? I'd believe that over Gigi and Ida. Simple as that. Yeah, Koki and Ida clearly have like a tension, but this is my point, right? There's a tension between those two that I feel could easily, more likely turn into something romantic than Gigi and Ida. For them two, those two there, I just feel like they are friends. I just feel like they're friends. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Alright? But if you can find that panel, by all means, alright? I'm always available to read it. But yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm all about that stuff. Oh, come on, Caswell. I feel like we've all come to the same page. I actually feel like most of you guys are on my side with this, if I'm completely honest. There you go. I probably should have put a maybe on there. I should have put a maybe on there, but you know. Yeah, but I mean as of right now. As of right now. Oh, it's not about you, Support, anymore. Support, it's not about you anymore. You're so self-obsessed. So self-obsessed. This is about my curiosity. It's not even like agree with me or disagree. I'm genuinely curious what the majority of people seem to think. So self-obsessed. What an awful thing to say to someone. I don't know why you put up with this. It's so rude. It's so rude. Koki and Zuma. Have they actually met, though? I don't think they've met. I mean, I think Zuma and Ida could be quite nice, I suppose. They both got big personalities like that. Yeah, I mean, if it's justified, just is like, I right now I think is more my curiosity. One day, I'm not saying they couldn't justify it. They could. If they made it work, that's fine. Like, I could see it working as a reaction to being turned down. I could see it as a reaction to being turned down, like getting closer as a consequence of that. But I don't know. I mean, I don't really care that much for the love, the leftover love characters being shoved together just because, well, that's it. We don't really know what else to do with them. You know, they've done it in other stuff, like, in fact, I can't talk about that, but they've done it in yeah, again, it's fine. The shared disappointment thing, I think, is fine. I just think that there's probably more interesting options if you're going to explore it. And if you are going to do it, it needs to also... It doesn't need the same depth as Momo and Okarun. It doesn't need the same depth, but it needs a shred of it, right? It needs some depth, doesn't it? Like... I don't know. I feel like for a series that's so love-focused, romantically involved, it feels like the only romance with any weight to it is Momo and Okarun. And you have to start dividing that up among the other characters in order for it to be believable. Because, you know, you've spent, like, how many chapters now? Like, over 200 chapters squarely focused on one romantic pairing. The idea of taking any time to put other people together is almost unbelievable. Because it deserves at least some... Like, if you were to put Ida and Gigi together over, like, 40 to 50 chapters, right? In the background, fine, but it is going to feel like they get together very, very quickly compared to the main two characters who it took, still not together, hundreds of chapters for. It's just not going to feel as deep
or as believable, I think. But, you know, I'm open to being wrong. That's what I mean, Orbis. That's, again, I'm not trying to say that it can't be done. It can be done. It's fine. If you do it, that's fine. Great, actually. I'd love to be wrong. You know? I like characters who are happy. I like my characters to be happy. But just shoving the leftovers together is not my impression of that. You know? Nice try, Caswell. Nice try, Caswell. Ain't happening. Alright, look what I built for you, Tatsu. Look what I built. You know? But, I know, there's a line, Caswell. And you are not at the front, brother. You know? We all need to prove that we aren't strong enough for her before you can get a go. It's like trying to pull the sword from the stone, right? There's a line of us, and we look. I want to fail first. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I do think that Ida's crush for Okarun is is definitely strange, because it's clearly brought about by like as a joke, at least in part. But I do think that she likes him. I think that he's very different for her. He's very real, you know, and that's what his whole thing is about. Is that he's a very real individual. You know, he doesn't care about her being popular. When he compliments her based on her abilities and what she did, rather than who she is or what she looks like. You know, I think that's the great thing. That's the great thing about Okarun. Do you know what I mean? Dandadan Shippuden. I hate the idea of that. That sounds awful. Naruto Shippuden is the worst. The worst. I think it's the worst. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, it is. It's terrible. Like, I enjoyed Naruto to a degree, but I thought it was dreadful. Shippuden, I thought was dreadful. So boring. Yeah. All I'm invested in is Momo and Okarun. Right? I do think that I do look forward to the rest of the gang reacting to it. I have to say, I really look forward to the rest of the gang's reaction to seeing this, and I hope that they take the time to really breathe with it. I feel like it would be really interesting, like I said, for it to be like a confession in the heat of the moment, middle of a battle, surrender powers kind of thing, because obviously we've seen with this arc, it's very much about the gang working together, getting closer with each other, and then that moment is not just, like I said, an inversion of the theme. It's not just an inversion of the theme that the main characters are working together and get stronger because of it, but it's a bit like Momo and Okarun's closeness that's used against them to depower Momo. But if she were to confess in this way, in this moment, I think it would introduce a really volatile aspect to the group, and potentially even fracture a lot of the relationships for a small period of time. Yes, they'd need to be in the same place. To be a text, give him a call, ring him on a payphone. You know? Yeah. Cool fights. Some of the fights in Naruto are all-timers. To be fair, some of the fights in Naruto are all-timers. Yeah, no, I think that we're at the point now where we do need to get some movement on the Momo and Okarun thing. frankly, look, I'm just gonna. I just need Momo to be normal sized again. Is that too much to ask? Can we have that? Can we have that, please? If nothing else, can we have that? Like, that's all I really want. Is I just want her to be normal size again. Everything else is like, you know, we can get round to that. That's fine. You know, but that would be a good step. It's been so long, man. It's been so long. She went into the board game like. She went into the board game in like chapter what, like 135, is it? Yeah, no, 134. She got sent into the board game in chapter 134, man. Like, it's been ages. It's been so long. He's been tiny for so long. Oh my god, she's been trapped in a board game. That's when she got turned small. It was so long ago. Caswell, funnily enough, they're just releasing a fan book. They're releasing a fan book, which seems to be showing off a bunch of the characters' like home lives and things like that. And it does look like, Okurun's dad is in it. It looks like he's having dinner with his dad. Oh man, I need the slice of life moments. It's apparently gonna have like 20 something pages of manga, of new like you know, unique content. I need that slice of life stuff. You know. Alright, support, catch you. I need that slice of life stuff. I really need just nice, relaxed, easy stuff. Koki isn't on it. Like, Koki doesn't seem to be involved in the fan book from what I've seen, which means it has to be set before this arc. Which means that hopefully it's set before the Danmara arc as well. So hopefully this is new content that is of them normal sized, which would be pretty nice, right? I don't know. Could you imagine? I can't even imagine Okurun introducing like Momo to his parents. Could you imagine that? That'd be crazy. Could you imagine being his parents being like, no, there's no way. There's no way. There is no goddamn way. How did he manage that? What the hell? How did he do it? What the hell? How did he do it? Could you imagine? It's just like, yeah, no. Why is my son jacked as hell now? Why is he like huge? Why does he look cool now? Where's he getting this drip from, man? What the hell? And then he introduces, this is not my son. What the hell happened? Can you imagine that? I mean, it depends how they do it, I think, Orbis. It might not be his dad. I just need something, man. God, give me something. Please. Please. It's just too much. Anyway, so I'm hoping that fan stuff, the fan book, is going to plug some of the gap for me, because guys, you know what I mean? We've never had a Turbo Granny chapter as a community. We've never had a Turbo Granny. Turbo Granny has never been in the manga apart from that Omake, right? That one side chapter is the only Turbo Granny we've had as a community. We've never had Momo and Okurun together as a community. Momo has been, if you were to count her going into the board game, Momo's been small for a third of the manga. And if you don't count that, she's been small for a fifth of the manga, which is still a lot. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm hurting. I need this to just. Come on, guys. Guys, we can do it. We can do it. All right. I don't know how we've managed to do it so far. We've lived in the dark times, right? We've lived in the dark times so far, but we're going to reach the promised land soon. We just need to stick together. We just need to stick together, and we can do it, guys. We just need to stick together, and we can do it. We can do it. All right. I believe in us. I believe in us. And look, we've got season 2 that's coming out constantly, you know, for the next however many weeks. Thursday, we're going to talk about that. So, and that's going to be all new content, guys. It's not part of the Evil Eye movie experience. So this is going to be new for me as well. So I'm very excited. Very excited. I hope that we see the lava stuff. I love that. That's one of my favorite bits, man. When Momo's running. Hell, man. That's crazy. Honestly, that's like so good. I really enjoyed that bit of the Cursed House arc video that I did, was making that bit. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, the lava scene is for me, the lava scene locked me in. It seriously locked me in. But for me, it was the back of the car stuff that was like, well, this is something else, right? And that's not very far away. I'm excited. We're gonna have a good Thursday, guys. We're gonna have a good Thursday. Oh my god, Orbis. Yeah, there's a lot of pain to go around, guys. There's a lot of pain to go around. But, you know, the pain will elevate the everything else around it. Alright? I've got a video. I have a video, John. I have a video. It's going to be released Wednesday, tentatively. I want to release it Wednesday. I'm going to try my best to release it Wednesday, because I can't release it Thursday. And I feel like it might have lost a little bit of its traction by Friday. But I'm going to try my best to release it Wednesday. If it's not Wednesday, it'll be Friday. It'll be about 20 minutes long. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. And besides that, I've got a bunch of other stuff that I'm also trying to work on. It's just there's only one of me. I'm glad that you enjoyed, that you could tell it was Dutch. It's the voice breaks. I love the Dutch voice break. But yes. Yes, video. Wednesday or Friday, and then beyond that, I've got a couple of different ideas that I'm also working on for video content that I'm hoping to get done sooner rather than later. I'm probably just going to release this video and immediately pivot to that one. And immediately pivot over to that one, because it needs to get written and it needs to get recorded and edited. You know? Yeah, I've easily put in more than 1,000 hours of Red Dead and Red Dead Online combined. Easily. I'm not proud of it. Just not proud of it. But goddamn, it was fun. So that makes it okay. You know? Anyway. What was I saying? Yes, right. So there's a bunch of other stuff coming for the channel, guys. I want to make the most of this period of time. And also, naturally, there's the part 2 to the season 1 retold. Which I'm also working on in the background. It's just there's a lot of editing and work that goes into that. I'd rather maximize this period of time by focusing on very relevant content. Hi, Jenny. You're right at the tail end. But it's good to see you. What was I saying? Yes. So, I'm gonna try to release as much content during season 2 as humanly possible, guys. All right, as humanly possible, and I'm gonna try and make it as relevant as possible to everything that's being released currently in the content. Oh, hi Manu. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm very proud of this community, guys. Very proud of this community. I'd maybe do a Red Dead Online stream at some point. Maybe. It's cursed. The way I play Red Dead Online is cursed. It's very much a role-playing exercise. It's not okay. It's not okay. An absolute villain in it. It's not. It's doesn't matter. Anyway, yes, it's a very peak community. You're quite right. Anybody who's not part of the community, guys, Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member and you get access to my Discord, which is the best place on the internet for Dandadan. It's famously the case. Everybody knows. Everybody knows by now. You don't know that by now? That's wild, dude. That's wild. You don't know that? What do you mean? But yeah. So join the community, guys. It's incredible over there. Really, it is. It's pretty cool. Yes, there are some unfounded claims that we are a cult, but I fervently reject those claims. I reject those claims. I don't know what. Never heard of such a thing. Such a ridiculous thing in my life. I don't know what you mean. Cool. Ridiculous. Anyway. But yes. I'm probably also going to start to use the Patreon as a kind of like, you know, a way to kind of formalize and message everybody with updates and stuff about the channel, so I don't just have to do it here. I can attack you from all different angles, kind of almost like a blog or newsletter type thing, even if it's just like a matter of getting some of my thoughts out there, or stuff that isn't long enough to be a video that I could maybe comment on, or just an update with what's happening on the channel, just to keep people a little bit more informed in a kind of semi formalized format, right? But yeah, no, so I'm going to be doing that as well. I look forward to doing that, even if it's just a weekly thing or every 2 weeks or something like that. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at now. That's kind of where we're at. And beyond that, I'm looking forward to continuing to make content, guys. You know, I'm not sure. Again, like I'm aiming for Wednesday, but I can't promise it won't be Friday before the video's released. It really depends on how I feel and how much progress I make over the next day. Obviously, having like a full-time job makes it slightly more difficult to do that as well. But anyway, guys, I think that's probably where I'm going to end it. It's been a pleasure, as always. I will try to minimize spoilers in the future in the thumbnails. No promises. I will try. All right, but if anything's been proven by this stream, it's a very successful way of attracting attention, really, isn't it? That's the depressing thing, is that it works. I'll try to minimize it. It's not fair, so I'll do my best. All right. Anyway, cool. Right, guys, I'm gonna go now. But it's been good. It's been real. It's been a bash. All right. See you, everyone.